So you officially have PC orders to Peterson Space Force Base in hand. And if you're like most people I do talk to, the one thing that keeps just coming up over and over again is just figuring out where you are going to land in the city. So after PCSing 3 different times, I've personally experienced how just picking the wrong neighborhood can totally take my time here. I'm talking a bad commute, blowing my BAH, and just like, I don't know, not really loving the spot I live in for my family. And that's why today I am breaking down Cimarron Hills. We're talking the location, the 2026 housing numbers, and just the overall investment potential in this area that a lot of videos just kind of tend to skip over, because I want to help you decide if Cimarron Hills is just the right fit for your career and your wallet. So Cimarron Hills sits just north of Peterson Space Force Base. Personally, the way I think of Cimarron Hills is kind of like Peterson's like tiny little hat. If you're looking at it on a map, it just sits like right on top of the base. And because of that, you're gonna have extremely quick and easy access to the west gate. So even if you are in like the farthest northern part of the neighborhood, you're looking at maybe a 15-minute drive max just to get through the gate. And honestly, as someone who just loves to sleep in, so if I was stationed at Peterson and just had to pick a specific neighborhood, this one would be my top choice. Because like beyond the overall just extreme convenience of this location, the proximity to the base just means like more bedtime and just less time stuck in traffic. Overall, it's just an extremely simple and just straightforward commute. And then that commute advantage kind of goes like hand in hand with what you're actually going to pay to like live in this area. Because Cimarron Hills is one of the most affordable pockets in the city. And in my opinion, that matters a lot when working with your BAH. On the rental side, we're looking at roughly like $1,900 to $2,100 to rent like a home, like a 3-bedroom home. And then there's also like plenty of apartments to rent as well in the area. That's generally going to be a little bit easier on your wallet. So we're thinking like $1,600 to $1,800 for a nice like 1 to 2 bedroom spot. But in my opinion, purchasing is where this area is really just gonna make the most sense for people. So for my E5s or my staff sergeants, your home budget in Colorado Springs is typically gonna run between $325,000 to $365,000. And Cimarron Hills is actually gonna give you a really decent selection of homes. Now, I will say that at this price point, you might be a little bit on the older side, maybe get some homes that need a little bit of more like TLC, but they will fit within your BAH and just give you a really good yard to kind of work with. But overall though, the medium home prices in Cimarron Hills is sitting at about like the low 400s. So usually between $385,000 to $420,000. So if you're looking to just purchase a solid investment that won't break the bank, this is just gonna be a perfect spot to invest. But here's the thing that makes purchasing a home in Cimarron Hills such a massive win for military members. There are no HOAs. Because Cimarron Hills is technically an unincorporated community, you aren't gonna deal with like that same like strict HOAs you'll find in a lot of newer parts of Colorado Springs. If you've got a project car, a boat, a camper, you're generally not going to have any sort of major issues in this area. This makes purchasing in Cimarron Hills just a top tier investment. So think about it this way. You buy now and then you just live in it while you're stationed at Peterson. And because it's going to be literally right outside the gate, it's going to be incredibly easy to rent this property once you PCS. And in this location, homes aren't going to sit vacant for very long. You're setting yourself up with a solid rental asset that's only 10 to 15 minutes from Peterson. But before we get locked into the housing numbers here, there is one question I know is just kind of sitting in the back of a lot of military members' heads, especially if you have kids. So depending on exactly where you land in Cimarron Hills, you're likely going to fall into either Colorado Springs District 11 or Falcon District 49. So I will be honest with you. Based on the ratings, District 49 doesn't always rank as one of the highest in the city, whereas District 11 tends to perform relatively well overall. But here's the secret. In Colorado Springs, we do have this program called school choice. So that means even if you don't love the specific school you're zoned in, you aren't technically locked in. You can apply to schools outside of your zone. That's including some of the higher performing school districts like Academy School District 20 up north. And this is going to be through the school choice program. Now, if you are trying to stay within the district you're zoned for, there are some really good top tier options right in the area. But you really do have to look at some of the charter schools. So I'm talking Banning Lewis Academy and then the Colorado Military Academy. These are both extremely heavy hitters as far as progressing your child's education. Something to keep in mind though is that these schools do operate on a lottery system. So if you're heavily invested in your child's education, you'll just want to make sure you get your application in as soon as possible. So bottom line guys, living in Cimarron Hills is gonna give you an extremely convenient location without having to force your kids into a school that just doesn't fit what they need. Now, here's the part that kind of comes in every single direct message I get about this neighborhood. And I'm just gonna kind of give it to you straight. Cimarron Hills is very typical established suburb, but as I kind of mentioned earlier, it's more of an unincorporated part of El Paso County. That means you're going to be seeing sheriff deputies on patrol rather than the typical Colorado Springs PD. But for the most part, it has a solid suburban feel, but I would be kind of selective on the pockets that you pick. Some pockets are incredibly quiet, while areas closer to some of the major strips can see an uptick in property crime. So maybe porch pirates or car break-ins. My best advice is just do what makes you feel comfortable. Do the research. So check local community crime maps online and just verify the actual street data. And if you have the opportunity, make sure you drive the neighborhood at different times of the day and just see what it kind of feels like. What's the lighting like? Who's out there walking their dogs? Just to confirm that the area specifically meets your comfort requirements. But generally, the further south you go towards the newer builds, the more you'll find the quiet traditional suburb energy that a lot of people like. All right, though, we've talked about commute, housing, school, and safety, but there's one more thing that kind of sets Cimarron Hills apart from other affordable neighborhoods in the city. I am the kind of person that likes to just get everything done in one trip, and Powers is where that can really happen. So whether you need to go grocery shopping, hitting Costco, or just looking for some entertainment, you can get almost everything done in this specific area of the city. And honestly, the food options on this strip are incredible. I will go on the record right now. My personal favorite is Bird Call. I actually prefer their sandwiches over Chick-fil-A. I honestly just think they're way better. Plus, if you're like me and you love just a good anime movie, there's a tradition I just recommend you start. So right next to the movie theater is a fantastic bus spot called Pho and Grill. There is nothing better than grabbing a massive bowl of pho and then walking right next door to just watch the latest anime release. So overall though, when everything you need is within a 10 to 15 minute drive, it's kind of hard to beat that specific level of convenience. Now, there is one major downside for my hikers out there, and it's that Cimarron Hills isn't right next to the mountains. So most of the famous Colorado Spring trails are further south, but even then, it's not a total deal breaker. You're only about 15 to 20 minutes away from Palmer Park, which has some of the best central hiking the city has to offer. Look guys, if I had to pick a specific area to live in while stationed at Peterson Space Force Base, Cimarron Hills would definitely be it for me. It has the easy commute, solid home prices, no HOA headache, and everything is within a simple drive. It just kind of checks all the boxes for an easy military life. If you're still kind of weighing your options across the Springs, check out this playlist here where I do breakdowns of all the different neighborhoods across the city. And if you need help making this move, please feel free to reach out. I specialize in helping military members and veterans make smart housing investments right here in the Springs. And as a fellow veteran, I would love to help you too. Don't forget to subscribe to get more content built around your PCS. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.